Hey folks, welcome to our eerie exploration of Halloween. In the spirit of this spooky holiday, we're going to unearth some seriously creepy facts you probably never knew. So get those flashlights ready because we're about to dive in. Halloween's ancient origins. Did you know that Halloween is actually older than Christianity? Yep, it goes way back to the pre-Christian Celtic celebration of Samhain. The Celts believed that on October 31st, the line between the living and the dead was super thin. To keep those ghosts at bay, they lit bonfires, dressed up in costumes, and wore masks. So, Halloween has some seriously ancient roots. Trick or treating through time? Next, let's talk about trick or treating. It's been around for quite a while. Back in medieval times, in places like Scotland and Ireland, kids were doing something similar known as guising. They'd go door to door not asking for candy, but for money, food, or treats. And in return, they'd entertain with songs, rhymes, or tricks. Love and Halloween. Now, here's a romantic twist to Halloween. In the 18th century, some Halloween rituals were all about predicting your future love. One quirky tradition had women tossing apple peels over their shoulders, hoping to see the initials of their future sweetheart. Who knew Halloween had a romantic side? The original jack-o'-lantern. When you think of jack-o'-lanterns, you probably think of pumpkins, right? But the original inspiration came from ancient Irish folklore, particularly a character named Stingy Jack. He roamed the earth with a carved-out turnip filled with coal to light his way. When Irish settlers came to the USA, they realized that pumpkins were way better for carving. So, the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern was born. Macabre Celtic traditions. Speaking of spooky stuff, the Celts had some rather macabre traditions. In their ancient Samhain celebrations, they made masks from animal skins and even parts of dead animals. These creepy masks were believed to protect against evil spirits during this eerie time of year. Immigrant influence. Halloween's popularity in America owes a lot to immigrants. The Irish, who fled to the USA during the potato famine in the 1840s, played a big role in making Halloween a hit in their new home. They brought their traditional celebrations with them, and it quickly caught on across the country. Mischief Night. Remember Mischief Night? It's the night before Halloween, October 30th, and it used to be a big deal in different parts of the UK. Young pranksters would take to the streets armed with eggs, toilet paper, and all sorts of mischief to shower their neighbors' homes with. It's not as common these days, but it's part of Halloween's history. Sweet history. World War II had its impact on Halloween too. Sugar rationing during the war meant that sweet treats were hard to come by. But once the war and rationing were over, confectioners saw Halloween as an opportunity. They began advertising and stocking up on Halloween-themed goodies, turning it into the sweet holiday we know today. The fastest pumpkin carver. Ever seen those amazing pumpkin carvings? Well, the fastest pumpkin carver on record is Steve Clark from Pennsylvania. He carved a traditional jack-o'-lantern style pumpkin in just 16.47 seconds. Now that's some speedy carving. Rare Halloween moons. Full moons and Halloween go hand in hand, right? Not so fast. A full moon on Halloween is quite rare, occurring approximately once every 19 years. The last Halloween full moon was in 2020, so you might have to wait a while for the next one. Halloween across borders. Halloween isn't just about costumes and candy. In Mexico and other Latin American countries, it coincides with the traditional Day of the Dead, celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd. It's a time for families to remember and mourn their loved ones, blending ancient Aztec rituals with Catholic influences. Black cats and witches. Black cats are iconic Halloween symbols, but their association with the holiday goes way back. They're linked to the belief that witches could transform into black cats at will. Sadly, black cats in rescue centers often struggle to find homes around Halloween. New York's Halloween extravaganza. If you think Halloween is all about pumpkins and candy, you might be surprised to learn that New York City hosts the world's largest Halloween parade. The New York Village Halloween Parade in Greenwich Village is a massive event with over 50,000 participants and millions of spectators. It started as a simple puppet parade in 1973 and has grown significantly since then. Bonfires of protection. Traditional bonfires were actually called bone fires in their original Celtic form. Why? Because the Celts would toss animal bones into the flames to ward off evil spirits. So, those bonfires were a bit more bone-chilling than we might think. The fear of Halloween. Believe it or not, some people suffer from Samhainophobia, which is the fear of Halloween. People with this phobia experience anxiety and terror related to anything Halloween, and they might even seek professional therapy to cope with it. The colors of Halloween. You've probably noticed that black and orange are everywhere in October. They're associated with Halloween for a reason. Orange symbolizes the harvest season and the bounty of autumn, while black represents darkness and the boundary between life and death. The classic pumpkin embodies this color combo, and many Halloween costumes feature these hues. The wise origins of witches. Witches have become synonymous with Halloween, but historically, they were more wise than wicked. The term witch comes from the Old English word witch, which from the Old English word witix, which means wise woman. In ancient times, witches were highly respected for their magical knowledge, often using it for good harvests. The image of witches being malevolent is a more recent development. Keen's pumpkin carving record. Want to see some epic pumpkin carving? Well, Keene, New Hampshire holds the Guinness World Record for the most lit jack-o'-lanterns on display at one time. They've broken their own records several times, with a jaw dropping 30,581 lit lantern. That's a whole lot of pumpkins. Evolution of Halloween candy. Believe it or not, Halloween candy as we know it today is a relatively recent invention. Before the 1950s, kids going door to door on Halloween received nuts, small toys, or even coin. It wasn't until the 50s that candy makers realized the potential of Halloween treats, and now it's an essential part of the holiday. The Monster Mash banned by the BBC. Last but not least, the spooky hit song Monster Mash by Bobby Pickett was once banned by the BBC for being too morbid. But more than a decade later, in 1973, the song finally got the attention it deserved in the UK, climbing to number 3 in the charts. Now, it's a Halloween classic that we all love to groove to. And there you have it, folks. 20 spine-tingling Halloween facts that might just give you a whole new appreciation for this eerie holiday. If you enjoyed this adventure through the origins and history of Halloween, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more captivating facts right here on Flonny Facts. Have a wickedly fun Halloween, and remember, stay curious.